U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced he would pause his reciprocal tariffs on many countries for 90 days, but he raised tariffs further on imports from China. The announcement came less than 24 hours after steep new tariffs kicked in on imports from dozens of trading partners.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, they were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid.
U.S. stocks surged following the announcement, with the benchmark S&P 500 climbing more than 9%. Trump's tariffs had hammered markets, raised the odds of recession, and prompted retaliatory responses from China and the European Union. Trump said he would raise the tariff on Chinese imports to 125%, from the 104% level that took effect at midnight, further escalating a high-stakes confrontation between the world's two largest economies. He said he would at the same time suspend targeted tariffs on other countries for 90 days to allow time for U.S. officials to negotiate with countries that have sought to reduce them. A 10% blanket duty on almost all U.S. imports will remain in place.
Nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. It's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well, and they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal.
This is chaos. This is government by chaos.
The top Democrat in the U.S. Senate, Chuck Schumer, blamed Trump for hurting the country, but said he was gratified by the president's latest move.
Donald Trump is feeling the heat from Democrats and across America about how bad these tariffs are. He is reeling, he is retreating, and that is a good thing. We are going to continue to put the heat on him because there are still much damaging tariffs in place.
Since Trump announced broad tariffs late on April 2nd, stocks had fallen more than 12% for their biggest four-day sell-off in 5 years.
Hi, Chris Gibbs, Rural USA PAC. I just finished watching the president's news conference where he announced the much-anticipated massive across-the-board additional reciprocal tariffs on most of our traditional trading partners, many of which are our closest allies. From fertilizer to machinery, everything I as a farmer need to stay afloat will now be more expensive. At the same time, we can expect the same retaliation we saw during the last trade war, foreign tariffs aimed squarely at the United States' soft underbelly, which is farmers and ranchers. The end result, more family farms will be pushed to the brink, and I suspect many won't survive. Now, we've seen this movie before, and we know how it ends. I know how it ends. American farmers lose markets that they spent decades building. Global buyers turn to South America or elsewhere, and those lost markets don't come back overnight, if they come back at all. The damage is real, and it's lasting. Now listen, this isn't a partisan issue. It's an American issue that adversely affects every family farm, every rural Main Street business, and every community that depends on the strength of American agriculture. Whether you live in a red state, a blue state, the consequences of these knee-jerk policies hit home just the same. Listen, farms and farmers are a national security interest. A strong, independent rural economy feeds our families, fuels our future, and fortifies our nation. This isn't about dollars and cents only. It's about livelihoods, legacies, and the survival of rural communities across this country. Rural USA PAC is going to stand up. We're going to speak truth to power because rural America deserves better than being used as a political pawn to stroke the president's ego.
In every critical market where America needs to be able to take care of itself, right, under all weather conditions, we have become very fragile. So tariffs have this dual-pronged impact. Prong number one is it starts to realign the world order. But prong number two is that it allows us to start taking back control of a lot of these markets so that we do the hard work so that we can rely on ourselves. Otherwise, if something bad were to happen, there's like a lot of really bad outcomes here where we cannot fend for ourselves. We can't make the vaccines we need, okay? We can't make the technological equipment we need. We can't make the computers we need. We can't make the chips we need.